Warning, this video may contain spoilers from the game Elden Ring. If you do not want to see any part of this game, I suggest you click off of this video right now. For those who don't care, sit back and relax.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Othmere, the all-knowing.
Elden Ring is a masterpiece. Whether you like open world games or really any From Software titles, Elden Ring is awesome. During my first playthrough, I was in awe with the feeling and smoothness of the game. Although there are lackluster reviews on Steam about the PC version and its issues, I've been playing on PS5 and have had almost no issues. The game was meant for consoles. Also, a helpful tip for PC players, apparently messing with the graphics settings helps the game's performance. Don't quote me on that though, because I just heard it on some weird podcast. Anyways, the integration with the open world and the level design is ingenious. It doesn't force you to stay in a level until you beat it to progress. You can just find different paths around the boss or dungeon to move on. While you may have to come back later and beat the boss, this provides an awesome way to get geared up before a big fight. Take Godric/Margit for example. Here's your second spoiler warning just to make sure you want to watch this video. And don't say I didn't tell you to click off. So, yeah. I say both Godric and Margit, as their boss arenas can be both skipped with a secret path. While going up the path to Margit's arena, take a detour around the first set of pillars of the massive bridge, and you'll find a shortcut to the Liurnia of the Lakes, or whatever it's called. This is ingenious. It provides a cheeky path around a big boss, and moves you to a harder area that will provide a challenge, but also will provide loot. Taking this path opens up a potential rune farming location, and really OP loot that can be used until the end game. This is the beauty of the game. The open world creates this liberating feeling where you don't feel stuck to one boss. To give an example, in Dark Souls, there's this one boss rush of about 4 bosses, all lava themed. In this area, you are required to beat every single boss to move on, all 4 of them. Some may say this game also requires you to beat certain bosses, but it really doesn't. There are an abundance of mini bosses and dungeons that you may totally miss on your first run through that give some pretty good loot depending on where you at in your playthrough. Another good part about this game is the lack of holding your hand. Although all From Software titles do not give you any advice at all, it really is something to be praised. It gives the player a sense of accomplishment when you find your way through an area. This game is no different, and it almost doubles the feeling. The sense of accomplishment when I beat a certain boss that I randomly found through exploring was awesome. The fact that the open world is so massive is what makes this a lack of instruction truly hard to deal with. In my first playthrough, I had a friend talking to me while I was playing the game. He directed me to some loot and showed me to the first boss, Market. Without him, I would never be able to find any of the bosses or loot. Another good part of this game is how the open world is genuinely fun to traverse. There are very few games where I actually enjoy running through the world. This is one of them. The beautiful landscape mixed with the intriguing architecture provides a unique experience. Although I do use the fast travel quite often, I found genuine joy in going back to really pretty areas and exploring them again. One example of this is returning to Limgrave to just run around. Stemming off of that, my absolute favorite part of this game is exploring. Going around the world in this game is mind-blowing. I was shocked when I found one of those bell dudes with a building on them because of how unusual it was. Running around and finding certain NPCs was also great. When I stumbled upon Alexander the Pop Man, I couldn't wait to see the different NPCs and bosses. Another pro for this game is the combat style. Dark Souls 1 and 2 were very slow and almost clunky. While it's not bad, it takes some time to get used to. The combat of these games really changed with Bloodborne. It created a fast, agile combat style that really changed the game for the next From Software titles. This really shows in Elden Ring. The bouncy character feels great to control in combat, and it's so smooth and feels just amazing. This game also uses a lot of aerial attacks, and your character can use them too. In boss fights, it's a very fun challenge as well. The combat is really good and contributes to how good this game is. My last pro for this game is the bosses. Each boss is unique with an awesome moveset. This is in part thanks to George R.R. Martin, who helped design the story of the game. Each and every boss surprised me with how cool they looked. Although there are some repeat bosses, like Morgott, who is similar to Margit, the bosses are mostly unique and very challenging. But what do you expect from a FromSoft game? While I hate to say it, there are some cons of this game. While there aren't many, there are some very annoying ones that really screw with me while progressing through the story. One of which is oddly getting trapped by enemies. I don't know if it's just me, but I get trapped by enemies a lot. I notice that I get pushed into walls and get stuck and then just get absolutely annihilated. Whether it's a big enemy or a group of enemies attacking me while I've been staggered, I sometimes get trapped in a wall or any structure and just get obliterated. I think this is a very bad issue, and it has killed me in some bosses and is definitely an unfair advantage for the AI. Again, I don't know if it's just me or not, just one complaint I have. Secondly, is getting hit locked. Too many times I've been staggered off my horse and gone to hit into oblivion. Normally this happens with bigger enemies, and when my character would get hit off of Torrent, the in-game mount, I get stun locked and can't get up. This usually only happens when I get hit off horseback, and again, I don't know if I'm the only person who experiences this, I just wanted to talk about it. Other than that, I have no real complaints about this game. Even if you've never played any Dark Souls game or Bloodborne, any From Software game like that, this is a great starter for the From Software games. But one thing, if you play this game first and then try the other games, they may be hard to get into because of how awesome this game is compared to them. Personally, I have found it extremely hard to return to playing Dark Souls 1 because of how slow and clunky it feels compared to Elden Ring. This is in part to how the combat style of the Souls game changed with Bloodborne, which was known for its agility of the character. FromSoft took that attribute of Bloodborne along with the second phases into Dark Souls 3 and into Elden Ring, as I previously mentioned. I don't believe I found it hard to return to Dark Souls 3, however, because it is similar to this game in combat style. Well, that pretty much sums it up. You can get this game on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and PC. I highly recommend that you check it out, as it's a great overall experience. I'm going to let the gameplay in the background play out, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.